Hello, I'm Bob423. I'm going to start a series on buoys focused on what you might see on the ICW. Now, what you see in front of you is the entrance into Cape Fear River from the north, coming down from Snow's Cut. So you see 176, 177, and all of a sudden you see 33 in front of you. Should you pass it to port or pass it to starboard? If you get the Bob423 loaded and looking at the charts, obviously you pass it to starboard. But how are you supposed to know? Let's take a look at that number 33 in more detail. Now, it's a different number, but the same principle. You notice it is green, but you see a yellow triangle underneath the 19. That yellow triangle means that that buoy should be treated as a red none for purposes of passing on the ICW. So let's go back. And so all these greens and reds coming down will have a yellow marker on them, and all the ones that should be passed to starboard as part of an ICW path will have a red yellow triangle, and the ones on the other side will have a yellow square. Let's move down to where you enter the ICW by Southport, and you see number 2 there. That number 2 is a red none, and now you're back on the ICW, so you pass it to starboard going south, but that red none will also have a yellow triangle. And on the other side of the channel will be a green buoy that has a square triangle, marking it as it should be passed to port on the way south. There are several places on the ICW that this can be quite confusing. I'm going to go to one in particular that comes up a lot. Now here you're going south on the ICW and you're entering the Neuse River. And as you would expect, you're passing the reds to starboard and the greens to port because you're on the ICW. But now you're into the bay, and the bay takes precedent on the red right returning rule. And now you pass number green 3 there, to starboard going south. If you were to look at that green buoy, you would find it has a yellow triangle on it. And as you go around, make the turn, you find now the ICW lines up with the red right returning rule coming down the Pamlico Sound from the bay, and you're back to the general rule. But regardless of the color, if it has a yellow triangle, then it should be treated as a none for ICW purposes. And if it has a yellow square, it should be treated as a green mark for purposes of ICW. The yellow marks take precedent over the color of the buoy. And that's enough for now. We'll do part 2 tomorrow.